All right, let's get some reaction from the opposition. Jagmeet Singh is standing by, but right now the leader of the official opposition, Andrew Scheer, is here. He joins us from Regina. Mr. Scheer, you spoke today about, and we'll get to some of your criticisms, but that was Bill Morneau. You've heard the details of the $71 billion plan. What do you make of this wage subsidy plan?
Well, first of all, it's hard to have confidence in ministers like Minister Morneau when they simply can't be honest with Canadians. The reality is they racked up massive amounts of deficits while times were good. We are not going into this pandemic in a strong position as they would have us believe, because they racked up tens of billions of dollars of deficits worth of wasteful spending. So that has caused us to go into this crisis with a lot less flexibility, a lot less room to maneuver, and that's one of the unfortunate consequences of their decisions. I would point out when it comes to the wage subsidy that this seems to be very chaotic. Their first announcement was 10% wage subsidy. We pointed out that was not going to make the difference for most employees. They then came to Parliament, recalled us to draft pass legislation that ended up having, not sufficient for the proposals that they announced. So they haven't really been instilling confidence in Canadians that they're managing this crisis in a consistent manner.
Well, polls are showing Canadians are a bit more confident, but let me get some specifics. Now you've heard them. They've got up to 75% now. It's going to take 6 weeks. There's a lot of measures out there. They're spending, by my calculation, over $140 billion right now. What is your biggest concern about that? Is it enough? Are you concerned about the speed? What are your concern about the current moment?
Well, you touched on the speed, and the fact that this is going to take up to 6 weeks concerns us. People are going through hardship right now in real time. The people are facing layoffs or have already been laid off. They have to figure out how to pay their bills and stay in their homes or in their apartments. So the 6 week timeline, we want to get a better understanding of why that is. What could the government have been doing on the front end of this? This idea of a wage subsidy was first proposed a few weeks ago. So they certainly have had time to build a program that can deliver the assistance out the door. So that's going to be part of our focus in the coming session that Parliament will be summoned back to Ottawa for. In addition, I have to respond to the minister's response as it relates to the GST aspect. A deferral for GST payments for small businesses is not going to help get through this storm. Everyone knows that the government gets that money eventually. Small businesses won't be able to use that cash to pay the rent today when they know that they have to hand it over to the government. Deferring it from April to September doesn't mean that it really frees that up. So what we've been calling for is an outright rebate. Let the businesses keep that. Let them use that money instead of paying it to the government. Let them pay off their bills, keep their rent payments going, keep their businesses afloat.
But Mr. Morneau said that's not going to amount to nearly as much as this program. So, there's a lot of different ideas. His answer when I asked him about that was, this program is significantly bigger and more comprehensive than that idea that you've got. What do you make of that?
Well, look, we've been supportive of the wage measure. We do believe that it will help keep some people working. Those businesses that have seen a reduction in revenue will certainly be able to make use of it. But what we're also concerned about are those businesses that have not seen a reduction in revenue. They've seen an outright stoppage. It's been a catastrophic stop in customers coming through the door. Restaurants have been ordered to close. Many retail outlets have been ordered to close. So a wage subsidy isn't going to help them stay open because there are no wages to pay. They've canceled all the shifts, not just some of them. So that's why this additional step is needed.
Just before I let you go, Parliament's going to be recalled and you're going to be asked to support this or not. Will you support this $71 billion aid package and the 75% wage subsidy?
Well, last time the government called us to Ottawa to pass their package, they slipped in some bombshell power grabs aimed at sidelining Parliament. We're going to be very vigilant on that. As I said, we support the idea of wage subsidies. We were the party calling for them to be lifted, to be raised from 10%. But we are going to be we are always vigilant as an opposition. We are going to be extra vigilant. We want to have open and transparent conversations with the government as to exactly what they're going to bring to Parliament. And if it makes sense, if it looks like it'll help Canadians, we'll support it. But we won't support measures that just give this Liberal government even more power than it already has.
Ms. Scheer, I got to leave it there. Please do take care and stay safe to you and your family. As I say to everybody, thank you for joining us. I always appreciate hearing your voice. So you've got the reaction from the finance minister. You've got the reaction